such a complex area, the role of faith in US politics. Annalise, with a bit of an insight there in terms of Catholicism and its role. But with Ruth Bader Ginsburg passing away in that Supreme Court position, it's featuring once again in a big way in the final stages of this electoral cycle.
It is, Kieran. And what it does is it elevates the culture war front and centre. And this is undoubtedly an opportunity for Donald Trump, because it's the Supreme Court that largely makes social policy in the United States. And we're talking here about issues such as gay rights, human rights, health policy, abortion, and the Supreme Court vacancy can mean that if Trump gets up a Conservative appointment, then the balance of the court runs even more strongly against the Liberals and in favour of the Conservatives. Now, this prospect has got every opportunity of energising Trump's base. And this is the critical question. I suppose related to this is whether this takes the focus away from the pandemic, to the extent that Trump's mismanagement of the pandemic has been a negative, and that Joe Biden has been trying to make the presidential contest a referendum on the pandemic. To the extent that Trump can move the issue away from that, move on to these social questions that really energise his base, because for them, this is a question of values. It's a question of overarching values. So you would think, therefore, to the extent this influences the course of the election, it must favour Trump. The question is how much?
Yeah, how much? And then, you know, there's the other component of the politics within the Senate, those that might be not necessarily from those red constituencies, but they're Republican senators, and they need to attract the middle ground as well here.
Well, that's right. And of course, we know what happened last time with the Republicans thwarting President Obama's chance to appoint a Supreme Court judge in the election year. And of course, Trump now saying, well, I'll be proceeding to do this. So he's got to get the numbers in the Senate. That's the first critical thing. You can imagine that this will deeply anger the Democrats, deeply anger them. And there'll be threats from the Democrats that if they get the chance, they'll expand the numbers on the Supreme Court. I guess one of the lessons from all this for Australia, Kieran, is that this is why it's important we don't have a constitutional Bill of Rights in this country. This is the great delusion. This is the great mistake for people to think that getting a constitutional Bill of Rights in Australia will enhance human rights in this country. It won't. It will poison our politics the way American politics is poisoned.